the work went on and on and on. I kept checking with Susan, am I ill? Is something going on here? The answer is no, 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 no. Everything's cool, just keep doing it. And no matter how you feel, or disoriented, and blah, 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 blah. So maybe it's a month and a half now. I'm on my way to Scotland again. And I get there and I go up on top of my special mountain and I'm given a new entry point into the higher frequency. Remember we talked about the higher black holes over there. And they have information that they want brought through. And it turns out that the information is about something they call revelations. And they start in with probably 2 sessions with me. And by the way, all this is going to be published. But anyway, 2 sessions with me about what's going on and their intention about it. And it turns out what they're saying about the revelations is, remember, let's go back to the precepts. The precepts went back 4,500 years. I think I mentioned that. This is material before the precepts. They say it goes back to the time of the first impulse before man, all the way up to at least the precepts and maybe farther. These are revelations which are important, and the reason they're important is that the underlying work behind both the revelations and the precepts is asking human beings, and maybe almost demanding it, that they move back to a different way of living on the planet. We're not connected with nature anymore. We'll look at some of these issues in a minute, and there are plenty of questions I can deal with that I've addressed with them because I've raised these questions myself with them, and I have some answers for you if you're interested. They were very interested in having me understand then that this was essentially infinitely old wisdom that needed to be back out in the world. It had been here at one time, people had paid attention to it at one time, but had given up on it. For example, there was a belief in a higher calling, a higher spirit, etc., that was just wired into every community at one time, but not so today. Today it's us, me, Ed, local people, my tax consultant, and on we go. And they're having huge problems with that, and they're saying that this is not going to continue. The fundamental truth that they say in both these cases is that nature herself will revolt and is preparing to revolt to change mankind's relationship back to what it used to be. And anyway, so maybe the 3rd day up there of, I don't know, 12 or 15 when I was up there. Oh, another interesting thing happened was they asked me to come back every day. And that's unusual. Normally I'd go for a day and sort of cool it for a day, because you know it when you've been worked on by this, and it's not like a massage that's too heavy. There's something that uses the energies somehow. It's not completely free to the body. Recall, this is a mechanism that's earthly, and to shift it over, to have it able to deal with the energies that are coming through, and a vast amount of information requires that the body be worked with to change the frequencies of the energies that run through the body. And so the body is being used, and that's fine with them. They just want to make sure that they don't damage it. So they don't. Anyway, I went on, maybe it's the 3rd day, and all of a sudden they say, well, we're going to start on these revelations now. And so they started, maybe 3 or 4, said, fine, catch you tomorrow. So I went back up, and that had a smaller introduction and more revelations. And the next day there's smaller introduction and more revelations. And what to me is absolutely amazing is that when I left there, and I didn't believe it. By the way, I haven't even read them all. And you might say, why wouldn't you read them? And the answer is, I'm not called to read them. I will read them. I haven't even read all of the introductory material. Why is that? Because all that work, both in Hawaii and over there, is a half-trance circumstance. I'm aware of the wind, I'm aware of water, noises, birds and things, but I'm in and out of the consciousness that's very present. And so to say I really understand that, I don't. Is it complete trance? No. It's not like the stuff over in Hawaii that we talked about earlier. It's some sort of a blend. I don't know how it works. I don't want to know how it works. I don't mind how it works. All I know is that what comes out, you type it up and look at it a few days later and you say, where did that come from? It's quite amazing, quite amazing. So when I left there, I had, I believe, just under 90 revelations. I thought, my God, 90 of anything's a lot. To me, 90 separate thoughts that came through. And it turned out it was embedded in maybe 95 pages of material that came through. So that's where that time went when I was over there. And they asked me to read one of them to you. So I'll read it. I don't know where it came from within the grouping, and it doesn't make any difference, I don't think. But it says, there is much in life that is not understood by humans that is natural to nature. It is to nature that we look, for there we find the blessings of the cycles, the blessings of natural processes that assure, yes, assure, health and life on earth for each body that has been incarnated. That is here for a particular purpose, and that purpose need be explored and discovered for those able and willing to open themselves to the energies of what is deep within. Some of the revelations are 2 or 3 lines. Some of them are half a page. They say that they carry an energetic that's meaningful to anybody that gets near them. And they've said that they would like them out in the world. And they've said how they would like them out into the world. And that is through a new website, which was suggested to me by one of our friends, that some of this work needs to be out in the world in a way which you will not get out in books because people either won't read them or whatever. And so I've been working, a number of us have, to put together a website, and it will be open shortly, carrying information from Hawaii, nature, Iona, in pieces, with the intention of having 2 or 3 of this, 2 or 3 of that. There's another list I had which came through of, I think it's 90 items they call truths. They're 1, 2, or 3 or 4 word little phrases that they call truths that they want out in the world. And so the phenomenon that I'm living with is, what's going on here? What's the call? I mean, how did this come about? The answer is I don't have any idea at all. All I know is I'm willing, and somehow it knows it. And so it's using me as an intermediary to bring through information. There's a backlog now of 4 more books, which means 7 books more that are not published. 3 of them are ready to be published. 4 others are in various states of understanding with their author, whoever that is, and it's not me. Some of them, by the way, they want me on the title as the author to ground the book into its earthly presence. But the fact of the matter is, almost all of them are completely channeled. So the next piece of work for me is to assist many to get in touch with the website. It's not, I don't think, a traditional website. It's not selling anything. It's offering this information that I'm speaking of that's come through. So I hope that started some questions. Let me move over here and look at some thoughts along the line here. On the way home in the airplane from Scotland, they said this is to be the title of what you're speaking of today, the evolution of the seeding process. And the significance of that is that what I've described to you is a process of me starting, might call fundamentally, and have moved along, using the word evolution, to the place where this process, and they call what I'm doing seeding. It's differentiated from healing or something else. There is no expected outcome from the work I'm doing other than delivery of the messages. What it means to you personally is for you personally to deal with. I don't know. There's an energetic associated with it that may affect a group in a room, I understand, and it affects the group in the room variously depending on who's there in the room. And effectively, apparently, it changes my energy and relationship to all of you. That I don't know anything about. I'm a servant to it. This is maybe a little bit difficult to see, but they wanted me to draw a picture of the planet Earth and an area which you might call sort of contained in the planet, and places where channeling goes on, and then the various people that have made contact. Here's Hume Cronin and Susan working on those books with him, the Bishop Father of mine, and that information coming to me, but not here on an earth plane level, but me here at a higher level to bring it down into the earth plane. So this is the piece that I'm sort of representing to you today, even though what's coming, and here we have the Bard and Bardess from Iona, and then I mentioned that they took me up to a higher place, and here's the higher energy at one of the black holes. Had I done this later, it would have 2 black holes, and my understanding is there are many to come all over the planet. And this is working with Susan and myself and the higher energy, this threesome, and that's the group that's working with the material from Iona that's just come through. So it gives you some sort of an energetic sense of what that looks like. Here you see what's coming out as seedings. Sorry, this isn't big enough to see. Books, presentations, speaking. I guess this is a speaking presentation today, right? Check. Yeah, you know, what help I can get, right? I don't even know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just doing it.
Yeah, a bit of a bard.
Another one to plant images. Here are channels. Again, this will be bigger next time I use it. The higher energies. I don't know who they are. They're energetics. They have a voice as far as I'm concerned. I don't mind who they are. I love what they bring through. And I love the idea of being in a black hole with them and being escorted deeply into a black hole. On the way by about the black hole, somebody asked me one day, is that the Akashic record? Okay? The answer is, yes, the Akashic record's okay. It's actually in the black holes. But if you need to use the word Akashic record rather than a black hole, use it. We don't mind. It's a place, essentially, of I'm going to use this word, dangerous word, of all-knowing. There's a place of incredible knowledge there, and it's all tied up in an energetic.